Welcome to Kunzy Podcast English, where every story not only helps you improve your English, but also awakens you to live with purpose, discipline, and zero wasted time. Today, we dive into a topic everyone needs to hear. You have no time. This isn't just a message, it's a wake-up call for anyone stuck in procrastination. Listen carefully because this video might just be the turning point that changes your life forever. Rule 1. Work smart, not just hard rebel. Have you ever wondered why some people work less than you but seem to go so much further? Why they have time to enjoy life, money to spend, and freedom to choose while you're stuck grinding from morning till night? You're not lazy. In fact, you're probably working harder than they are. But maybe you're heading in the wrong direction. The truth is, the world doesn't reward those who work the most. It rewards those who work the most effectively. You can work 12 hours a day, but if those 12 hours are spent chasing the wrong things, you're just moving faster, in the opposite direction of your dreams. Hard work without strategy is like swimming in a shallow pond, thinking it's the ocean. You were taught, if you want to succeed, work hard. But no one told you that blind hard work is the fastest path to burnout. The more tasks you take on, the busier you feel. Yet at the end of the day, there's no real progress. You're caught in a loop of busy work. Endless emails, pointless meetings, and tasks that look productive but lead nowhere. Stop. Sharpen the axe before chopping another tree. Ask yourself, what truly brings results in my work? Am I focused on creating value or just making myself look busy? Don't confuse motion with progress. Some people run in circles all day but get nowhere. What you need is a compass, not a clock. Working smart means choosing the right tasks at the right time in the right way. It means planning before doing, learning tools that save time, and eliminating distractions. You can't do everything, but you can do the few things that truly matter. And that's what sets successful people apart. Don't become a victim of being busy. You don't need to work more. You need to work differently. Success isn't about running faster than others. It's about knowing exactly where you're going and finding the shortest path to get there. You no longer have time to live blindly. Youth doesn't wait, opportunity doesn't return, and time never stops for anyone. Every morning you have two choices: repeat yesterday's habits or change the way you work. Don't let your days be mindless copies of the one before. You weren't born to just stay busy. You were born to create something meaningful. And that only happens when you choose to work smart. Why are you working? For what? For whom? Is what you're doing today bringing you closer to your dream? Or is it just something to keep you from feeling left behind? You need courage to look inward and change. Working smart is a choice, and you can choose to begin right now. Rule 2. Rely on willpower. When the body is tired, there are days when you wake up and just want to give up. Your body feels drained, your mind weighed down, and you're not even sure what you're chasing anymore. But then, something whispers in your head. Just keep going. It's not energy. It's not motivation. It's willpower. The one thing that stays when everything else has left. Willpower isn't a fleeting emotion. It's a firm choice amidst chaos. When you feel like doing nothing at all, but you still open your laptop, read one more line, finish the task without anyone reminding you, that is when you're building willpower. Not to become a superhero, but to avoid surrendering to the procrastination that kills your dreams a little every day. You think you need rest, but sometimes what you really need is to push through. You need to prove to yourself, I'm not that easy to break. No one's coming to rescue you from your fatigue. No one's forcing you to move forward. Only you, just you, can decide whether to stop or not. Tiredness is real, but being tired doesn't mean stopping. Even great people feel exhausted. They've wanted to give up, sighed under pressure, despaired in the dead of night. But they kept going, not because they felt nothing, but because their willpower was stronger than their exhaustion. You don't have time to wait until you feel ready. Every moment you let yourself give in, your dream takes one step back. Willpower isn't something you're born with. It's something you forge in every wave of fatigue, and you are absolutely capable of building it. Rule 3: become a producer, not a consumer. Have you ever wondered why some people change the world while others just sit and watch them do it? In this age of endless information, all it takes is a swipe, and you're consuming hundreds of videos, thousands of articles, podcasts, and news clips. But at the end of the day, what do you truly gain? Just exhaustion, a cluttered mind, and a hollow feeling inside. We live in a world split between two types of people: those who create value and those who only consume it. Producers don't wait to be perfect. They don't wait to feel ready. They start, they build, they fail, they learn, and they build again. Consumers, on the other hand, are always waiting for motivation, for more free time, for inspiration to strike. And in the end, they rarely start anything that belongs to them. You can't build the life of your dreams by watching other people live theirs. You can't become exceptional by spending every day consuming content without ever creating anything of your own. Every video you scroll past, every hour spent watching someone else live their passion, is time and energy stolen from your own dreams. Being a producer doesn't mean you have to be famous. It means you take ownership of your life story. Write a journal entry, share a perspective, start a tiny project, capture an idea, build a new habit. These small acts are how you get closer to the life you truly want, instead of watching others walk toward theirs. You have no time left to just be a spectator. Life is too short to live as a shadow in someone else's spotlight. It's time to step forward. It's time to become a producer, not just a watcher of the game. So what will you choose today? To keep watching or to begin? Rule 4: never talk behind someone's back. There's a quiet but dangerous habit that slowly destroys both your character and your credibility. Talking behind someone's back doesn't make noise, it doesn't cause a scene, but it cuts like a dull blade, silently shaving away at the respect others have for you. Every time you say something about someone when they're not around, you might think you're just venting, just being honest. But in reality, you're telling the world one thing: you're not courageous enough to face problems head on. And in doing so, you're gradually dismantling the foundation of trust you've built. This world is already complicated enough. It doesn't need more people who smile to your face and stab you behind your back. When you talk behind someone's back, you create a world where everyone has to be on edge, constantly watching their step. You become the reason people start to doubt, start to distance themselves. And worst of all, you tell the world that you don't have the courage to be real, to be honest, to resolve conflict like an adult. A mature person is not someone who never gets angry or disappointed. They too get hurt. They too feel frustrated. But instead of whispering to a third person, they choose to have a real conversation. They sit down, look you in the eye, and say, "This is how I felt when you did that." Because they know only clarity and direct communication can build lasting trust. You might think it was just a joke, or I didn't mean anything by it. But remember, even a careless sentence can become a deep wound when passed around. And nothing kills a relationship faster than hearing your name in a room you weren't in. You don't have time to lose the good people around you just because of a few minutes of emotional release. You don't have time to fake your way through relationships and then sabotage them with your own words. You are living in a world where trust is the rarest currency. And if you want to go far, you need to be someone others can rely on, even when they're not watching. Strength isn't in talking behind someone's back. True strength is found in honest, respectful, face-to-face conversation. And if you're not ready to confront, then silence is more powerful than poison. Choose dignity over drama. Choose to build, not destroy. You don't have time to live in a world of illusions. Every day is a chance to prove that you are someone with integrity, someone worth trusting, someone who has the courage to live truthfully, even when it's uncomfortable. Remember this: the words you say when someone isn't around don't define them. They define you. Rule 5, make more mistakes, fail forward. Here's a truth no one teaches you in school. Successful people aren't perfect. They've fallen more times than you, failed harder than you, but they never stayed where they fell. They got back up, dusted themselves off, and moved forward. Not because they weren't afraid, but because they understood. Mistakes don't kill you. Fear of making them does. You might hesitate when starting something new. You might second-guess yourself before big decisions. But if you let the fear of failure control you, you'll never do anything meaningful. Every great journey starts with awkward steps, with embarrassment, with not knowing what you're doing. Everyone starts there. The only person who never makes a mistake is the one who never tries. Some people fall once and never get back up. Others fall 10 times and keep going. Those are the ones who change the game. Because they understand that every mistake is a lesson and every failure is a map forward. If you learn enough, fail deeply enough, you'll go further than anyone who just stands still waiting for the perfect moment. You don't have time to pretend to be perfect. You don't have time to wait until you're fully ready. Opportunities don't wait for the hesitant. The world doesn't reward those who avoid failure. It rewards those who dare, who fall, who learn, and who rise. Real growth doesn't come from constant wins. It comes from how you face and overcome failure. And remember, mistakes are only dangerous if you don't learn from them. But if you do reflect, adapt, and change, yesterday's failure becomes the launch pad for tomorrow's strength. That's what fail forward really means. Failure not as a step back, but as a push forward to become sharper, braver, and more resilient. You have no time to be afraid. Act. Fail. Learn. Move. Because every time you fall and rise again, you are one step closer to the powerful version of yourself you're meant to become. Rule 6. Focus on one thing at a time. In an era where everything moves at lightning speed, where everyone tries to do as many things at once as possible, being multitaskers has become a badge of honor. They listen to podcasts while replying to emails, scroll through social media while pretending to work. But the result? They end the day with half-done tasks, an exhausted mind, and nothing truly meaningful completed. The truth is, the human brain was not designed for multitasking. Every time you switch from one task to another, you're not saving time. You're wasting it. Each switch breaks your focus. And then you waste even more time trying to get back into flow, using up energy to reignite your thinking. The cost of multitasking is shallowness, mediocrity, and that nagging feeling of being busy yet getting nowhere. Successful people aren't those who do everything at once. They are the ones who know how to pick the most important task and give it everything they've got. When you focus fully on one goal, you not only move faster, you go deeper. Instead of knowing a little about everything, you become a master of your field. Instead of wandering 10 paths, you choose one and run straight toward the finish line. Focus is the sharpest weapon in this age of distraction. Those who know how to focus are the ones who truly save time, who know how to say no to what doesn't serve their bigger mission. When you channel all your energy into one thing, not only do you do it better, you begin to notice the subtleties others miss in their constant distraction. You don't have time to be pulled in 100 directions. You don't have time to live in the illusion of being busy, always doing but never progressing. Choose one thing, one goal, one direction, and commit to it as if your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Rule 7. Don't be the best, be the only. In a world where everyone is trying to get better, those who are remembered are not the best. They are the only. The ones with a unique path, a distinct voice, a mark that can't be copied. You weren't born to be a replica of anyone else. You don't have time to compete in a crowded race where everyone is trying to be the same. What you need is to break away from the crowd. Look around you. The truly successful people aren't those who do better what everyone else is doing, but those who create something no one else has ever imagined. Steve Jobs didn't try to make a better phone than Nokia. He reinvented the concept of a phone. Elon Musk doesn't just make cars. He created a symbol of innovation and the future. They didn't win by catching up. They won by heading in a completely different direction. Don't waste your time becoming an improved version of someone else. No matter how good you are, you'll always be someone's second choice if you're just a copy. But if you're the only one, you have no competition. Uniqueness doesn't come from copying others. It comes from being true to yourself. What makes you different? What are you willing to do that others fear? What truth do you believe in, even when no one else does? Nobody remembers the imitators. People only remember the pioneers. Every day you spend reshaping yourself to fit in is a day you betray your own identity. Don't be afraid of being different. Be afraid of getting lost in sameness and never being seen. You don't have time to try to be better than someone else. Use that time to become the only version of yourself. Make the world ask, "Who is that?" instead of letting yourself be just another forgettable name. True success doesn't come from climbing someone else's leaderboard. It comes from creating a new leaderboard where only you stand on top. You don't have time to live someone else's borrowed life. Create your own path. Rule 8, if you don't like something, change it. You hate your job, yet you go to it every single day. You dislike your living environment, but you stay put. You're not happy with how people treat you, but you keep enduring it. Sound familiar? Many people live their entire lives in a state of quiet dissatisfaction, not exploding, not breaking down, just silently putting up with it, slowly dying inside a little more each day. The truth is, complaining never changes reality. It only drains your energy by repeating negative thoughts. If something truly bothers you, get up and do something. Don't say, "I hate this job," and then stare at your screen for 8 hours a day. Don't say, "I want a better life," while scrolling endlessly on social media. The world doesn't reward great complainers. It changes only when you do. You might say, "I can't, I have a family, responsibilities." Fair. But that doesn't mean you have to suffer forever. Taking action doesn't always mean a grand leap. It could be a small class each night, an updated resume, a tough conversation you've been avoiding, one step outside your comfort zone. What matters most is that you start. Because if you don't do anything, you'll stay stuck exactly where you are. You don't have time to live the life of someone who's simply enduring. Life is too short to be spent drying out on the inside. Be honest with yourself. That thing that bothers you daily. Are you enduring it or fixing it? Because every day you choose silence, you're letting dissatisfaction become your normal. No one breaks from a quick failure. They wear down from quiet erosion over time. Don't let yourself be a victim of your own resignation. Do something, anything, to pull yourself out of the loop that drains your passion and dims your light. You don't need to have the whole plan figured out. You just need to have the courage to change what's choking you. You don't have time to live in a reality you never chose. And the best part is, you have the power to change it. Rule 9, never disrespect your elders. You might be more skilled than them. You might earn more money, be better with technology, even feel like you're moving faster than they ever did. But none of that ever justifies forgetting one simple truth. Respect matters. Respecting your elders isn't about believing they're always right. It's not about pretending they've never made mistakes. It's about recognizing that they've lived longer than you, endured what you've yet to face, and weathered losses you may never understand. Even if they say something you disagree with, remember this. Listening with patience doesn't make you smaller. It shows that you've grown. The world moves so fast now that it's easy for the young to dismiss the past as outdated. But if you let pride erase gratitude, you're slowly cutting yourself off from your roots. Without the generation before you, your progress today wouldn't even be possible. The taller the tree, the deeper the roots must grow. If you soar too high without remembering where you came from, the first storm might knock you down, and you won't even know why. Respect doesn't need fancy words. It's shown through behavior, through how you listen without interrupting, how you ask for advice instead of rejecting it, how you don't mock their slowness, but honor their wrinkles as marks of time and experience. You may feel young, like you have all the time in the world, but in truth, time sides with no one. You too will age, and when that day comes, you'll hope the next generation treats you with the same respect or disrespect you gave today. You don't have time to reject the past, because the past is the foundation that holds your future. Respect costs you nothing, but it gives you character, depth, and kindness in the eyes of others. And those are things that will never go out of style. Rule 10. Live in the moment, not on your phone. Real life doesn't happen behind a screen. It happens in the little pauses between conversations, in the way someone's eyes light up when they laugh, in the quiet peace of a sunset that doesn't need to be posted to be real. But if you're too busy chasing the next notification, you'll miss it all. And the worst part is, you won't even realize what you lost until it's already gone. We scroll endlessly, hoping to escape boredom, but all we're doing is escaping reality. One more reel, one more message, one more like. But at what cost? You miss the warmth of your friend sitting right beside you. You miss the way the evening breeze feels on your skin. You miss the life that's happening around you in exchange for a highlight reel of someone else's. The truth is, you won't remember the meme you laughed at for 3 seconds. You won't remember the 10th message in a group chat, but you will remember the conversation you had with your mom while doing dishes. You will remember that walk you took when your heart was heavy and the world somehow felt gentle again. These moments don't need filters. They need your presence. Every second you spend staring at a screen is a second you're not fully living. You think you're catching up with the world, but really, the world is passing you by. The people you love are growing older. The chances you're waiting for are slowly slipping past. And your own story, it's being written, whether you're paying attention or not. You don't have time to just scroll through life. The most beautiful parts of your story are happening now, not later, not online, now. So put down your phone, lift your head, and truly look at the world around you. You might be surprised by how much you've been missing. Rule 11. Always pay the bill when you can. Generosity isn't measured by how much you give. It's reflected in your attitude. You don't need to be wealthy to give. You just need to understand the power of offering something, no matter how small. Maybe it's paying for someone's coffee. Maybe it's covering a meal. Not to show off. Not because someone told you to, but because deep down you believe in spreading a message. I can, so I will. In a world obsessed with gain and calculations, generosity becomes a rare form of strength. It doesn't just touch others, it sets you apart. You never know what impact your small gesture may have. That cup of tea you paid for today might be the only good thing someone experienced on their worst day. That meal you covered might open the door to a lasting relationship, a new opportunity, a business partner, a friend, or simply a renewed belief in human kindness. You don't have time to live with a scarcity mindset, because the truth is you lose nothing when you give. You're investing in people, in character, in meaningful connections, the kind of wealth money alone can't build. A truly rich mindset doesn't come from hoarding every cent. It comes from understanding that money is a tool, not the goal. And generosity, used wisely, is a mark of emotional intelligence. So when you can afford it, offer. Not to show off, but to show who you are. Because when you pay that bill, you're not just settling a tab. You're building a better version of yourself. And that's worth far more than any receipt. Rule 12. Say no if you're not ready. Every time you say yes when your heart quietly pleads no, you betray yourself a little. It's subtle at first. You accept a task you didn't want. You agree to a plan that drains you. You smile and nod when deep down you feel resistance. Over time, these tiny betrayals pile up, and suddenly your life feels like it's being lived for others, not for you. Saying no is not a sign of weakness. It's an act of power. A conscious decision to protect your time, your mental clarity, and your long-term goals. It's a filter that keeps distractions and energy drainers at bay. You don't have time to say yes to everything, because every yes costs something. Attention, energy, sleep, creativity. And if you say yes too easily, you'll find yourself stretched too thin to make progress on what really matters. True confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to explain every no. It simply stands firm. And in a world that constantly demands more of your time, your attention, your presence, choosing to say no becomes an essential act of self-respect. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to move with intention. So next time your gut hesitates, listen to it. Say no, not because you're difficult, but because you're focused. Not because you don't care, but because you care deeply about the right things. And remember, you don't have time to burn your mind chasing what's not aligned. These 12 rules aren't just pieces of advice you can skim over and forget a few minutes later. They are a wake-up call, a loud alarm ringing in a world that rushes to consume everything, even your time. Because the truth is, you have no time. You don't have time to live a directionless life, just waking up, going to work, getting tired, and then waiting for tomorrow to repeat the same cycle. You don't have time to live without knowing where you're heading. Every day you don't define your purpose. Every hour you let procrastination take control is a moment pulling you away from the person you were meant to become. You don't have time to destroy relationships by talking behind people's backs. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. And sometimes it's not because you're unworthy that people leave, but because you lacked the courage to speak the truth and live authentically. You don't have time to fear making mistakes. Failure is not the end. It's the first chapter of every meaningful journey. Successful people are not those who never fall, but those who rise again every time they do. You don't have time to lose focus. Every moment you stop to scroll your phone, to chase temporary entertainment, is a moment your dreams are pushed further away. True success doesn't come from going 10 directions at once, but from going deep, staying long, and not turning away when things get hard. You don't have time to fill your mind with junk content, gossip, or empty distractions. Your soul isn't a trash can for useless noise. If you want to stand out, you have to create. You have to bring value. And that only comes when you choose to be a producer, not just a consumer. You don't have time to live in quiet dissatisfaction. Life doesn't change because you complain. It changes when you act. If something bothers you, be the one who fixes it. You don't have time to reject the wisdom of the generations before you. Wisdom doesn't come from youth or ego, but from those who have weathered storms and left footprints on the path ahead. How you respect your elders today is a reflection of who you'll become tomorrow. And above all, you don't have time to live behind a screen. You won't remember a post on social media, but you'll remember the last time someone smiled at you, the golden light of a real sunset, the sound of morning birds, or the warmth of someone holding your hand. Don't let life pass by through the lens of a phone. Start now. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for perfect conditions to finally live as your true self. You don't have time for hesitation. You don't have time for a life dictated by fear and delay. And if you've made it this far, deep down you already know. Something in your life needs to change. So stand up, act, and walk. No one else can live your life for you. No one else is responsible for your unfinished dreams. Only you, and only you, can decide who you'll become. You have no time. If this message sparked something inside you, like this video to confirm it for yourself. Share it with someone who's lost, someone on the verge of giving up, someone who needs a reminder that they still matter. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future messages, because who knows, the next video might be the turning point in your journey. Thank you for staying until the end. I wish you the clarity to choose what's right, the strength to keep going, and the awareness to know that. You have no time.